wait, you good? Sorry. Yeah. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here to go over the man JING YUAN. He's in the building, and lovely. So now this character is awesome, but I wanted to really take the time to really look at him and evaluate how he's really supposed to be used, in my personal opinion. Because a lot of the times I think a lot of people, you see them, they'll go into the simulated universe to making it seem like these characters do a bajillion damage. Now the man does do the damahe, let's be clear. But at the same time, is he really worth summoning? I know a lot of people like Shiny. I think his design overall is pretty cool. He's pretty cool in the actual story. I haven't actually seen him do a fight, like a lot of the characters are fighting and stuff like that, but it's just really, really cool to see him in action and stuff like that. So what does this guy do? What is he about? Let's get a nice full breakdown. As you can see, my stats are horrendous. I was just comparing it to some other guys' one, so I'll probably use theirs because theirs has way better stuff than mine does. I'm still building mine up, so we're gonna use this guy. As you can see, I had 1100, he has 1600 attack, not so much crit, a little bit more crit damage. We'll be using this one just to get the Lord's work done. So let's get to it. I'm actually trying to farm stuff for his traces right now. Oh, I forgot my other character died. I'm like, where'd he go? So first and foremost, let's check out the skills. Now, a lot of people may already know how this guy works, but I gotta explain it because it's very important. So let's just go with the talent first. I feel like a lot of these characters, it's better to go with the talent first, then go to the basic skill and everything else. So summons the Lightning Lord at the start of the battle. So let's just, right on the side, we see my man, he's chilling. He's waiting for his turn patiently. He is chilling. He's like, yo, it's my turn. And you see a 3. You can also see a 3 down here, right? So his talent goes as he summons the Lightning Lord at the start of the battle. The Lightning Lord has 60 base speed, which is relatively slow, right? And 3 base hits per action, right? So when the Lightning Lord takes action, its hits are considered as follow-up attacks. That is really important, just because of the fact that there are other light cones that work with follow-up attacks, and also when you are in a simulated universe, you can actually have stuff that work with follow-up attacks. Counter-attacks are also usually considered follow-up attacks as well. Consider as follow attack with each hit dealing lightning damage equal to 49%, whatever this is level 6, a percentage of his attack. So attack is kind of important as well. To a random single enemy, the enemies adjacent to it also receive lightning damage equal to 25% of the damage that is dealt. So let's say if it does 100 damage, the things to the side of that will get 25 damage. Just quick, easy math for you. So they will be taking that. So that's why I was always confused. I thought it was doing AoE to each thing hit. No, it's actually just hitting one singular person. That's why I remember like months ago, you would see him and Cocolia, and since Cocolia is by herself, she just, all the things are hitting on her, and it does a lot of damage. Now, as you can see here, this was something that I did not know. The Lightning Lord's hit per action can reach a max of 10 hits. So I thought that you could keep stacking this up, so I was like, oh man, I'll just get characters to give him extra turns, give him some speed, and then eventually he'll take more turns so that it will do a chunk of damage. I don't know if this was a nerf to him, because I don't know, when I've seen videos before, I thought he was like, it was a jillion, but it looks like it is capped. So, and then it also says every time the Lightning Lord's hits per action increases by 1, its speed increases by 10. Now it says its speed increases by 10, but it just means like its action gets pushed up. So every time, which we'll see the skill in the ultimate, every time he uses it, the Lightning Lord's, its turn's gonna come up as well. But those are the only ways you also get the Lightning Lord's hits up. So it's basically trying to balance itself. That's basically what it's saying. After the Lightning Lord's action ends, its speed and hits per action return to their pace values. Thank God. If that did not happen, it would be so busted. Also, they want you to know when he is knocked down, the Lightning Lord will disappear. So if you were to revive him, he'd come back. But when he is dead, the Lightning Lord ain't gonna keep popping off and doing that base 3, basically what it's saying. Also, when JING YUAN is affected by crowd control debuff, the Lightning Lord is unable to take actions, which is also cool to know too. You can even slightly use that to your advantage, but not really. So there's some other things here which we'll go over when I'm going into the Eidolons and the traces. So as you can see, his basic attack here does not activate or give him any actions hits per action. Can't do it, doesn't do it. You have to actually go to the skill. The skill will give you 2, does AoE, 75% of his attack, all across the board, 75%, well not 70, it's level 6, I keep forgetting that. So yeah, AoE hits everybody for the same amount of damage, adds 2. ultimate, same thing, does AoE hit, does a certain amount of damage, but adds 3. So just off these 2 hits here, so let's say you go E into ultimate, boom, you added 5, it starts off base 3, that's 8 hits. So that's not going to get you 10, right? That's not going to get you 10, so you're going to have to give him a way to possibly do another E, and then that will get you 10. Or if you use his technique, he'll start by extra doing 3. That's another way to do it, right? But that's basically how his skills go. So it's really cool. Like you see right now, his base is 3. I'm going to pop the E here, and that will bring me up to 5. And you can see plus 17, the thing goes up a little bit. Slow motion. Ah. Rah. Oh, yeah, I gotta make sure I don't die here. Let's see the E in slow motion. I did it in fast motion before.
Here. There's thunder.
Naughty children.
Boosted it up there. As you can see, like, he needs a lot of speed. If you want him to lap the Thunderlord, he needs some speed on him. There it is. Good damage. I'll show his basic attack. Slow-mo. Boom, boom.
Time for the master stroke.
Now, we've seen it fast. I know a lot of people like to show it fast, but we're going to show it nice and see, slow motion for it.
Radiant spirit.
My
word. Show no mercy.
That looks so cool. Almost look like it's part of the super, but it's not. 2 separate things. That's why I was confused when I first saw it. I thought that that was like one singular move. Now, one thing that I'll definitely say is that utilizing him a little bit more often, his break effect usually seems like it's really high, but utilizing him more often, it's like that's pretty much what's doing most of the damage. So you're looking to do as many skills and ultimates to kind of like get it as high as possible. Doing this.
This ends here.
I feel like you definitely want to make sure you're fighting something, obviously, with a thunder or whatever the hell they call it in this game, weakness. I feel like that's kind of like very important. So when that hits, especially, it will break, do a break. There's a lot of other things that synergize with that. God, I need 3 of these. I only got 1. God, I might need to synthesize that. Might be quicker for my own guy. Support, yay! Thank you. All right, cool. So let's check out his traces and Eidolons, which is going to bring him to a different level, right? So with the traces, we'll see here, let's see. One important thing here, if the Lightning Lord's hits per action is greater or equal to 8, which is literally E, you press your skill once and this you have this activated. Something very important, something that I'm going to activate right now. Very important, right? The crit damage is increased by 25% for the next turn. So once you use E, your crit damage goes up. So obviously the Lightning Lord is scaling off of your attack, it's scaling off of your crit rate and crit damage, right? So obviously if it's giving you free crit damage, you probably want to get some crit rate on your subs and stuff like that, because you need the crit. You definitely need the crit. A lot of the damage that you see going on is definitely because he's critting. Obviously, here are the traces where you're just gonna level this up. As you saw, his was a little bit higher, level 6. I haven't really gone into that yet, but that's what I'm going to be working on, getting all his talents up, because I definitely need the free basic attack, and I definitely need the free, like, boom, free crit rate. Definitely need all this stuff. He also has another one here. At the start of the battle, immediately regenerates 15 energy, which is fantastic. That's awesome sauce. Why is it awesome sauce? It's because he gives him, hopefully he'll get to his ultimate quicker, so you can have a nice 8 early, 8 turn, and then you'll be able to do some crazy stuff. And then last but not least, you have the bonus one here. After the skill is used, the crit rate again is increased by 10. So just in general, like you have this one, right? You have this 10, you use the skill, you use your skill into your ultimate, your crit rate is increased, your crit damage is increased. You have this here that's going to give you, I don't know how many levels you can boost into this. I think it's just 1, right? It's just this 1, 2.7. No, you could, okay. No, yeah, just 1. And then you have another one down here. So once you start investing more into this, you're going to get a lot of free crit rate. I think it's smart to balance how much crit rate you do get. And this is, look, requires character to be level 75. I'm just making a mention of it because it is important, because that's going to affect how you do your relics, right? Depending on how much free crit rate you get and how much free crit damage, all the other stuff, you have to pay attention to what you're getting in your traces, because then it's going to allow you to make a better informed decision, or not even better decision. It allows you to be a little bit more lenient on your relics, right? So let's go into the Edie Diddies, right? So a lot of people I think were going for, right, they were going for E6, only E6. That's ridiculous. His base kit is fine. He's definitely a stat monster. A lot of people are sometimes the utility that their kit provides is better, but he is a damage dealer, right? So it is more about his stats than it is like the utility he provides. He doesn't have any CCs or anything like that I see. He's about damage. So even same thing with Sile or Sila, blah, blah, blah. She's just about damage. And I do, if there's any critique that I have about this game, it is that. I like unique character. He's very unique, but he is, at the end of the day, just damage. So when we look at just damage, so if you were trying to pull an extra copy of him and you got one additional, you'd be looking at this. When the Lightning Lord attacks, the damage multiplier on enemies adjacent to the target enemy increases by an extra amount equal to 25% of the damage multiplier against the target enemy, right? So that just pretty much means the spread damage gets better. Now, that's probably better for farming and finishing stages off, but I would say that that's kind of irrelevant. It's rough to say. Like, if you're using, he's good for single target stuff, like I said, all those hits go on one target, but it also is helpful that if the spread damage is a little bit more, right? What about this one? Swing, skies. Actually, a lot of these, like slash, see split, swing, sky squashed, strike, sun subdued, spin, starred siege. I like that. Stride, spoil seized, and then sweep, soul slain, right? But number 2, after the Lightning Lord takes action, damage caused by Jing Yuan's basic attack, skill, and ultimate is increased by 20%. If there's anything that you would want to get is the E2. That's insane, right? After the Lightning Lord takes the thing, his next turn pretty much is going to be sick, especially if you have a skill ultimate combo after that, right? So this would almost be in the essence where you let the Lightning Lord take a kind of quote unquote shitty turn. If you have enough technical points laying around, you could do an E on the first turn, let him do a really big smackaroo, right? And then the following turn, you E ultimate and things are dead. Like, that is a lot of additional damage, right? 20% additional damage plus all the other shenanigans he has. That is a lot. That is a lot of additional stacking, multiplying stuff that is crazy. So E2, I think, is where you definitely want to be. Obviously, the E3, ultimate damage, and it kind of important in the basic attack damage, but obviously the skill and the talent is where you really want to get to, which is the 5, which is kind of hard to get up there. Maybe they'll introduce a dupe system later on, where maybe I know they currently don't have one, but maybe they'll do one later on. Then we have the 4, which is each hit performed by the Lightning Lord when it takes action gives him 2 energy. So max stacks being 10, you're looking for 20 energy on that turn, but that's after using your ultimate and stuff like that, which is the perfect time to get your energy back. But this also, even if you gets you closer to your ultimate as well, because the Lightning Lord is going to take an attack anyway, every time his turn eventually comes up. So that's pretty cool. That's just in my personal opinion, a nice to have. A lot of other characters are going to give this character turns and give him damage boosts and stuff like that. So not necessary crazy, but it's a nice to have, right? You definitely are not looking to the E4. You're probably, like I said, looking for the E5 here because you want to level up the skill because you're going to be spamming the hell out of it, and you definitely want to level up the talent as high as you can because the talent is literally the thing that's causing all the stupid damage. So that's what you're looking for, right? Then we have, last but not least, the thing that is forbidden. If you have this, I'm pretty sure your bank is like, yo, sir, sir, we need to talk about these purchases, but Sweep, Soul Slain, each hit performed by the Lightning Lord when it takes action will make the target enemy vulnerable. Each hit, by the way, each hit does this. So while vulnerable, enemies receive 12% more damage until the end of the Lightning Lord's current turn, stacking up to 3. Now, let's just say, so this is only to increase the Lightning Lord's damage in general, right? It is 3, and 3 is what it has already, so it's always going to have 3. So any additional hits after the 3 is going to take the benefit of 12%, actually technically almost 36 increased damage from the Lightning Lord, and that is probably where you see those videos of the guy destroying Cocolia, and this is where it's coming from. It's probably an E6 Jing, something that you likely won't ever see ever in your life unless you wailed out, right? So it would be cool to see this, especially like all the other things that I mentioned, right? You're getting the crit damage increase, you got the damage increase, you got all this stuff, and you can have a really super turn. Plus, if you're in Simulated Universe, you can get some disgusting numbers, but realistically, you and I will not see this for the light of day, at least until they, like I said, make a dupe system to where you can maybe get a dupe of a 5-star, specifically a dupe, an Eidolon dupe for anyone, maybe like once a month or maybe if they want to be jerks, maybe every 2 months or something like that. But we won't be seeing this anytime soon. At least I know I won't, because I'm not going to keep summoning for a character. I think it's important to have a copy of a character, but the E6s and stuff like that, like I said, I think E2 is fine enough. I think E2 is exactly as far as you would need to go with him, and then maybe focus on other characters. Some characters, like I said, Natasha, I think having Natasha at E or E6, 40% of her max HP is on her autos. I think that's kind of important for her. And she's a 4-star, obviously. It's a little bit easier because you can literally get them in a shop. But him, E6, and I actually kind of like that, because you really don't want like 5-star characters to be absolutely busted cakes with this, and it's gonna make a whole whale community. You really don't want that. You want it that the person can get the thing out of the box and it's useful, right? You don't want it that I got a 5-star but I have to summon for at least thing, and I hate when that whole thing is even slightly referenced, right? It drives me up a wall. Anywho, I'm talking in a circle, but let's look at these light cones now. Let me just get it out the way. I'm just gonna get it straight out the way. Before the Dom is absolutely broken, as you already seen, he has crit damage multipliers out the ass. If you can just get enough crit rate, you can already start off with this, which is increases the wearer's crit damage by 36%, level 1 by the way, increases the wearer's skill and ultimate damage by 18%. After the wearer uses the skill or ultimate, they gain Somnus Corpus. Upon triggering a follow-up attack, which is what he does, Somnus Corpus will be consumed, and the follow-up attack damage is increased by 48%. Level 1, by the way. So literally one copy of this and you're pretty much good to go. This thing is loaded. It is so good for any character that has follow-up attacks. It's probably like the follow-up attack God King light cone. Unfortunately, you can only get it after summoning form, unless you don't feel like you need him and you just want to summon for the thing. What is this thing at max level? 60% crit rate. Crit damage, 30% increased skill damage, and 80%, yeah. I mean, again, never gonna see that in your lifetime, don't even think about it. But it is interesting to see how strong it is. That is best in slot. Same thing with Seele, her thing, what was it? I think she's Hunt, right? In the night, the thing that she was there, best in slot, right? So it is what it is. But let's say you don't have $1 billion. So I always like to do what is the best blue. This is the current one I'm using because it's the best that I kind of have. Increases the wearer's ult damage by 28%. Pretty basic. I don't I like that one a lot. Or I kind of like this one. To me, it's kind of a toss-up because I use my skill and it gives me a little bit of energy. This one's easy to max out, right? Yeah, guys always got to keep in mind. So 12 energy whenever I use my skill. My skill also gives me energy. It kind of just makes my turns come a lot, my ult come in quicker. I was using this on Serval for a while, and it really allowed me to get my ult up a lot quicker. One thing I need to definitely check out, I'll go back to it. I forgot how to count how much his ult is. I'm not a fan of Saga City, so it's just these two. Passkey I like a lot, but I think Databank is good because all the crit multipliers, and this is increased damage, right? And you have all these crit rate and crit damage multipliers, and then you have something that increases damage. You will do a lot of damage, so I kind of like that a little bit more than another thing. Now, as far as for the purples, the seriousness of Breathless I do like. Increases the wearer's damage. Damage increases for every defeated enemy. He gets attack increase, stacking up to 3 times. That does not go away, which is pretty good. And since it is a purple, you reasonably could eventually see it to get to this, right? Not that bad. Really not that bad. I also think, I think the other guy was using this light cone. This is a really good option if you don't have the Mega Dega Super Dega. And then this one increases the damage dealt by the wearer's follow-up attacks by 24%. You see Herta, because Herta is a follow-up attack monster. If the current HP of the target enemy is below or equal to 50%, increase the damage even further, right? And that's level 1. Can get a little bit crazy if you keep summoning it. So this is, I think, the more realistic one. I don't like always counting the yellows. This is way more realistic for you to be utilizing Birth of the Self, right? That's really good. That's probably best in slot for a purple. Now that I've played the story, I understand how funny this is because she's slacking off and Fuzion, whatever, I'm messing it up, but she's in the background like, why are you slacking off? Today is another peaceful day. It's not because your boss is right behind you. So like this is the best slot, and then this one, what is this? Probably for every enemy on the field, increases the wearer's attack by this up to 5 stacks. When an enemy is inflicted with a weakness break, the damage dealt by the wearer increases. Yeah, that's for like farming, and that's why it has Himiko, because she's definitely looking for the AOE. So Before Dawn is your absolute best. Birth of Self is the second best in slot in the purple, and I think you can go Databack or Passkey for your blue, depending on what you've got and what you've summoned, right? Last but not least, we got them relics, boy. First one right off the back increases the damage. The band of the sizzling thunder increase lightning damage. Perfect. And then when the warrior uses a skill, increase the attack. Perfect. Because a lot of times after he's using the skill and you use the ultimate, it says for 1 turn. Remember, your ult doesn't count as that turn. That attack boost is going to be good because the attack also scale. The lightning load also scales the attack. So obviously, I think this is probably your best in slot for your 2/4. But let's keep going. Let me see if there's anything better. I like this two-piece Celestial Differentiator. Increases the wearer's crit damage even further when the wearer's current crit damage reaches 120% or higher, which probably pretty easy for him with some of the other stuff we just saw. After entering battle, the wearer's crit rate is increased, which allows you to crit easier, right? So that's pretty good for him for the 2-piece. These are like the little celestial set things in the middle. Ooh, look at this though. Increase the wearer's crit rate with the 2-piece set, not bad, by 8%. When the wearer's crit rate is above 50%, reaches 50% or higher, the wearer's ultimate and follow-up damage increased by 15%. This one might be good. I think that's pretty much a toss-up. I wonder which one do you guys think was actually better, Inert Salsado or the 2-piece set up here, which is the crit damage stuff. I don't know. I mean, the crit damage one I think is more the crit rate, and this one's 16% crit damage. So everything has to crit or this is useless. So if your crit rate's not high enough, this is ass, basically. Even though it gives you a 60% crit rate, it says for the first attack. So that might not be as good. So maybe this one is better. Well, you know, sometimes you got to scroll down. Maybe this one's better because it works on the ultimate and the crit rate. And the follow-up attacks, which is right here. Pretty good. And that's about it. So what do you guys think about Jing Yuan? Do you think he's worth all the hype? Again, he is a damage monster, so like I've been noticing when I just first started leveling up, I didn't have him that strong, so he wasn't doing that much. So you definitely have to keep in mind that when you have a DPS based character, when the DPS ain't DPSing, he's gonna seem like absolute butt cakes. So if you don't have the right runes, you don't have the right relics, you don't have the right stuff, he's gonna seem pretty trash. So hopefully you guys are investing into them, which he needs investment. You definitely need to invest, or else you're just not going to see those damage numbers like you see in those other YouTube videos, right? So hopefully this helps, a more in-depth guide, and not just this is this, and this. I like to give options for people because not everyone's going to have best in slot, right? So yeah, hopefully this helps, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.